you're not where you want to be, or if you're working towards skills and they're not happening fast enough, or you feel stuck, you're working on a mental block, trying to get through that, like whatever the case may be, if you are not just rocking and rolling at practice and you identified yourself in one of the things I said, that is a good thing, because that means, yay, you have an opportunity to improve. There are things you can do about it. There are things you can do to make the process so much easier. And it comes down to mindset work. Welcome to the Mind Over Mental Block podcast. I'm your mental performance coach, Mandy Patterson. I know the weight of mental blocks because I've battled them myself as a competitive athlete. From back handsprings I thought I'd never get to fulls I needed to stay on scholarship, I know how frustrating it is to feel stuck. And as a mom of 3 and former coach, I also know how heartbreaking it is to watch it happen. This podcast is for cheerleaders and gymnasts ready to stop overthinking, face their fears, and believe in themselves again. For parents who want a trusted voice to guide their child so they can simply cheer them on. And for coaches who strive to leave an impact that goes far beyond the mat. Whether you're listening together to or from practice or a big meet, or on your own in those moments when you're just not quite sure what to say or do, this podcast is for you. It's the pep talk you want, the tough love you need, and the encouragement you've been waiting for. So hit subscribe and let's go. Welcome to another episode of the Mind Over Mental Block podcast. I am Mandy Patterson, your host, mental performance coach for the day. And today's episode, it's really just an opportunity for you to consider, okay, what is getting in my way? And more specifically, your mindset. Is your mindset holding you back? Is your mindset getting in the way? Do you really need to keep doing more reps to get your skills? Do you need to add more private lessons? Do you need to switch gyms? You try so many things. If you are working on getting a new skill, or you're working on getting a skill back, or you're a parent supporting an athlete who is doing those things, there are so many opportunities to build in new strategies and techniques. And it can be really frustrating to not really know, okay, what is like the right next step? What is the thing that is missing? What is my child, or what do I need to be able to actually get this skill or to get the skill back? So today I want to go ahead and I'm going to just give you a list of things and ways to know when your mindset is getting in your way. Is it really the skill? Is it that you need more strength, you need more reps? Or is it that it's your mind? It's the way you're thinking, the things you're thinking about, the things you're paying attention to, what you're attaching meaning to, what beliefs that you have that you're bringing with you into the gym. If it's all of those invisible things, those mindset things that are actually affecting your physical skills and making it harder and keeping you stuck a little bit longer. So hopefully this list will give you some things to think about so that you know, okay, it's not that we just need to keep throwing a ton of money at getting private lessons. There are some different types of training that would make this a lot easier for my child, and my child would see more progress quicker. So here's a list. And again, this episode today is going to be pretty short. I'm just going to go through the list. I didn't organize this in any certain way. I kind of just did a little bit of a brain dump on all of the things that we see and all of the things that we work with our athletes on, and all of those pieces of their mindset that hold them back in their skills. So this is for you if you have been working on a skill for months and it's not happening as fast as you want it to, or your coach is telling you that you're ready, or if this is a skill, if you've done a skill before and you're trying to work on mastering that skill again. I know sometimes you're not really sure what the right next step is. So today I'm going to give you a list of all of the things that I could think about for how to know when your mindset is getting in the way of you achieving or regaining your skill. So here's the first one. This is the more obvious sign that your mindset's getting in your way. But if you're not throwing a skill that you've mastered before, if you were doing your full or your standing tuck or your back handspring, if you were doing that by yourself for a month, and then you went in after a break and you couldn't do it anymore, or you fell and now you're not able to do the skill again, that is an obvious sign your mindset is getting in your way. Okay. That is a true mental block. When you have mastered a skill physically, you've done it on multiple surfaces, you've done it for a period of time, and you're no longer able to throw that anymore, then that is an obvious sign that is your mindset. Your body knows what to do. If you have done the skill before, you've done it consistently, and you're at a place where you didn't really have to think about all the pieces, your body had mastered that skill. You had the strength, you had the technique, you understood the strategy to throw that skill, and it's not happening anymore. So that is an obvious sign of a mental block. Mental blocks are overcome with specific mental work, okay? Mental game work. So if that is you, then yeah, your mindset's holding you back. So there are some things that you can do to help improve your situation and to see progress faster, but it comes down to your mindset, okay? A next sign, if the coach is saying you can do it, or if the coach is saying, I don't need to spot you, you've got this by yourself. I shouldn't have to stand here. Any of those phrases that your coach is saying, that means that it is not a physical challenge. There's nothing physically that is holding you back from doing that skill. It is your mindset. Okay. And I assume you're working with coaches that you trust who know how to keep you safe. So as long as that is the case, then yeah, it's your mindset getting in your way. All right. If there are skills that you are throwing by yourself and you are not landing consistently, if you are landing on your knees every single rep, or you are not getting the height that you need where your head is almost hitting the beam, or whatever the case is, if you are not doing that skill and landing it safely, then we need to have a different kind of conversation because it is near impossible for your brain to have the confidence it needs and for you to trust yourself enough to let your skills happen if you don't have proof that you do know how to do it and you can keep yourself safe. Because fear, that's where that comes from, is your brain's natural response and desire to keep you safe. That's what fear is. It's a signal telling you, hey, there are some things that we need to pay attention to because I don't want to get hurt today. Okay. Fear is a good thing. Fear is your brain working. It's a proof that your brain is working. And so if you are falling, and it's one thing to be on a mat and to be training your body, okay, oh, I need to go up a little more. I need to spin a little harder. I need to be a little bit tighter. Like that's one thing. But if you're doing things that could injure you, you need to do something different. So that is a sign that is not just your mindset. Okay. You still have some strength building. There are some technical pieces there. So working on mindset is going to be huge for you, but there are other pieces involved also. But if you are landing every time, almost every time, if you're landing consistently, I'll say it that way, and you trust your coaches and your coaches know what they're doing and they're saying that you can do it, then that means that your mindset is holding you back, that your confidence and your trust are not developed to the point where you're fully in control of that skill. Okay. So that's another sign your mindset's getting in your way. If your coach is saying you can do it. All right. The next thing is if you are attached to your spotter, we already talked about, or a mat or a specific spot in the gym. If you can do it on the trumbull track and you can do it on the rod floor, but you can only do it on the spring floor if a coach is standing there, then that's your mindset. That has nothing to do with the floor. That has to do with your beliefs and your ideas about what the floor does for you. Your trust is in the trampoline and the rod floor, not yourself. Okay. So there's some mindset things that are getting in your way with that. Another example, if you're thinking that more reps will get you more confidence. So if you know that confidence is your challenge and you're waiting until you master or throw the skill by yourself to be able to have the confidence you need, then that is showing that you can use a little bit of mindset work, that your mindset is holding you back in that area. If you're waiting to perfect a skill before you can be confident in your ability to do that skill, then we need to talk. There's some mindset things going on. So that's another sign. If you are standing there and you are fidgeting and you are looking behind you a million times before you go for your skill, or if you are hesitating before you go for a skill, if you start to run for that running pass and you go back and you start over and you do it again, or if you go for your flyaway and you just keep kipping, like you just aren't able to let go of the bar, whatever the case may be, where you're like not initiating the skill, that's mindset. Okay, that's your mindset getting your way. That's fear overwhelming your body. Okay, that again, your brain is designed to keep you safe. So that is your brain's way of telling you, hey, I don't know that we're going to do this well. Hey, I don't know if this is going to be safe for us. So let's not go for it yet. And it's like squirrel idea, if you've heard of squirrel. But it's like you're about to go for the scale and it's like, oh, look at that gymnast over there. Do you think she's going to run out in front of us? Oh, was that a bug? What was that on? Like your brain, if you've like stutter stepped or you've started to go for it and you've stopped and then you look back, you're like, oh, I thought someone was that. Like that is your brain trying to get you to distract yourself so that you will not go for the skill, because the skill, there's some fear involved in that skill and your brain's trying to keep you safe. Okay. So that is a sign that there is some mindset things going on if you're looking behind you a million times or fidgeting or hesitating. If you have conditions around when you can do the skill, meaning, oh, well, I can do it if that coach is standing there. Oh, I can do it if I go in this special spot in the gym. If I'm on the third panel and I'm facing north, then I can do it. It's like, no, no, no. If there are conditions around when you can do the skill and when you're not able to, that is mindset. That has to do with the way that you're thinking about the skill. The things outside of yourself that you're putting your confidence and your trust in instead of putting it in yourself. Okay. So those are mindset challenges. If you change what you're doing because of who's in the gym. So if you notice when there's a certain coach in the gym, or there's a coach that is watching you, or if the coach isn't there, like if you notice that you feel different, that you don't feel as stressed or worried, or you notice you're looking to see if the coach is looking before you go, then that is another sign that your mindset is getting in the way. That is you attaching what someone else is thinking and feeling about what you're doing. You're attaching that to your own confidence and your own beliefs about what you're doing. Okay. It's called social approval, but that is another sign that your mindset is getting in your way. If you get nervous about working on that skill. So if before you even get to practice, if you're thinking about, okay, today I've got a private lesson and I know we're going to work on that tuck, that standing tuck, and you start to feel kind of that little panicky feeling, then that's a sign that there's some mindset stuff going on, right? That there's that overwhelming fear or your thought process about the skill, how you're approaching getting the skill. There's some work that can be done there. So that is a way that your mindset is holding you back. If you allow the first few reps of the day to dictate how you're going to perform that day. So if you go in and your coach or someone asks you, like, hey, are you going to throw your whatever the skill is today? Are you going to throw your back handspring on beam? Are you going to do your tuck off the end of the beam? Are you going to do your flyaway? Are you going to do your on a handspring tuck on the floor? Whatever the situation is, if they ask that question and you're like, well, I've got to see how warm ups go, or, oh, I'll let you know after I do the first one. If your brain goes to, well, let me see how I'm feeling for the day before I can say whether or not I'm going to do the skill, that's mindset. That has nothing to do with your body, your strength, your technique. That has nothing to do with the physical skill. That is all about how you're thinking and feeling about the skill. That is your belief system. That is your mindset. All right. So that is another sign that mindset is getting in your way. When you shut down because something doesn't go the way you want it to, when you go for a skill and it doesn't happen and you need to go to the bathroom because you're upset, like you're crying or whatever the case may be. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. Of course you care, you want this skill. But if you are to the point where your emotions are very heightened around certain skills, or when certain things don't happen and you get really frustrated to the point of needing to take a break, or you get in the car and just tears are falling, then that's a sign that there's some mindset stuff going on. There are some beliefs, there's ways that you're thinking about your skills that are putting way more pressure on you than is necessary. And there are some things that you can do very strategically to help make that an easier process for you to develop and get the skills that you want. Okay. But that's another sign that mindset is holding you back, is if you're shutting down when things don't go the way that you want them to. If you don't like talking about certain skills that you used to be able to do, or if you avoid watching videos of tumbling passes on skills that you used to have, or if you were working on a skill and you stopped working on that skill and you are avoiding working on that skill, that's mindset. All of those examples are mindset. If you're thinking about getting hurt, if you're focusing on the fact that, well, I don't want to fall, I don't want to hit my head, especially when you've never actually gotten hurt. Okay, there's a lot of fear around falling and injury and re injury. And that's something that we work with our athletes on. But a lot of the fear, it's irrational. It's not real fear. And what I mean by that is you've never been seriously hurt. Yeah, maybe you've had a fall, or maybe you have gotten hurt. But the amount of times that you've done something successful overweighs so much, like 1,000 times, how many times you've done it and it's not gone well. But we always focus, and our brain does this intentionally, but you're focused on the thing that didn't go well, the one rep that missed, or the one time you got hurt, or that one time that your friend got hurt doing a skill. So there is a lot of pressure around fear of injury and re injury that we work on with our athletes. But if you focus on getting hurt, and you've never really been hurt before, that is a sign that your mindset is getting in your way, that there's some mindset things going on. So here's kind of the recap. So here are all of the things, or how to know when your mindset is getting in your way. You're not throwing a skill that you've mastered. Your coach is saying you can do it, or I don't need to spot you, but you're not going for it. You can't step away from a mat or a certain spotter. You think more reps will get you more confidence. You fidget or hesitate or look behind you a million times. You have certain conditions, certain things that have to happen for you to feel comfortable throwing your skills. You change what you're doing when certain people are around or certain people are watching. You get nervous thinking about working on the skill that day, or you avoid working on the skill altogether. You allow the first few reps of the day to dictate how you're going to perform that day. You shut down when something doesn't go the way that you want it to. You don't like talking about the skill or watching videos of a skill that you used to do. Or you start to feel afraid. When you feel afraid or nervous, and you take that as a sign that something bad will happen. When you feel afraid and you stop or you avoid something because you feel afraid, fear is not bad. Okay. So that's a sign that your mindset is holding you back. You're allowing fear to hold you back. Or if you're focused on getting hurt, you're avoiding working on certain skills. So those are all signs that mindset is getting in your way. Well, here's the good news. Okay. If you identified yourself or someone you love in any of those things, it means that there are things you can do about it. That's a good thing because if you're not where you want to be, or if you're working towards skills and they're not happening fast enough, or you feel stuck, you're working on a mental block, trying to get through that, like whatever the case may be, if you are not just rocking and rolling at practice and you identified yourself in one of the things I said, that is a good thing because that means, yay, you have an opportunity to improve. There are things you can do about it. There are things you can do to make the process so much easier. And it comes down to mindset work. Okay. How you think, how you feel, what you believe is true, what you pay attention to when you're working on your skills, how you interpret the things happening around you, how you interpret that and what that means for what you're doing, how you're attaching meaning to the actions that you take. There is so much work that can be done inside the realm of mental performance coaching, sports psychology, and it really does apply. Like I know a lot of times with these mental skills, they kind of get brushed aside as not important, but they're so important because mental blocks are becoming more and more common and we are busier than ever. And there's a reason for that. And it's unfortunate, but I'm so thankful that the work that we do truly is life changing for these athletes. Not only do they get their skills back, but they get their confidence back. They enjoy what they're doing more. They go in and they use their experiences in the gym to learn about who they are as a person, even outside of sports. These are truly life skills that we're teaching athletes through an avenue they can understand, which is their sport. So, if you are interested in developing your mental game skills, if you notice any of these things happening in your situation, I have a free guide for you. So, it's an unstuck quiz that I have. It's geared towards parents, but athletes, you can take it too. But this quiz, it will help you identify okay, is it really my mindset or is it something else? Is it a physical skill? Like, what do I need to do? Do I need to keep doing reps? Do I keep doing privates? Or is it important for me to start building up my mindset and my confidence in a strategic way and my trust in all of those pieces? So, the Unstuck quiz also, after you take the quiz, there is another little freebie bonus that is released, and it's talking prompts for parents. So, I know if you're a parent going to practice, sometimes you're just not sure what to say. You don't know what to talk about. And so I gave you some prompts to help you have a conversation with your child and actually figure out, do they actually know what confidence is? They talk about confidence and we know it's important, but like, what is it and how do you build it? Do they trust themselves or are they just trusting their coaches? Am I paying all this money and then, it's going to get to the point where my kiddo, like I'm investing in them believing in everyone else, or are they actually believing, building up that belief in themselves that they are capable and they are strong and they are in control of their skills? So it's just a good opportunity. And again, it's a free resource for you. If you want professional support from my team, you can actually sign up for a no cost intro session. So that's an opportunity to apply for our one on one coaching programs. It's also an opportunity just to get some support and really understand, is this the right fit for you? Is one on one mindset coaching, could that actually benefit you based on your situation? So that cost, it's no cost, it's free. 30-minute virtual session. We work with athletes all across the country and Canada. We've had athletes overseas as well, but Zoom makes in time zone and all the things makes it a little tricky. But for sure, in the US and Canada, we support athletes across the country. So if you're interested in getting that set up and seeing if professional mindset coaching could be helpful for you or your athlete, then you can sign up. The link is in the show notes, or you can go to mgpcoach.com/performance check session. So that is the link to sign up for that intro call. Also, if you have a mental block, we have a full mental block hub. So you can check that out. We've got free resources. I've got links to certain podcast episodes that may be more helpful for you. There's also a link or more information about all of our coaching programs. So you can see all of the ways that you can work with us, whether that's through our coach, where you go through that program on your own and just learn the tips and the concepts for how to overcome mental blocks, or you work with us one on one every single week or every other week for 3 or 6 months, or you just want to do a one off paid session because you've got something big that you want to work on. You've got a tryout, a competition coming up, evaluations, whatever the case may be. So I hope that is helpful. I know that was a lot of resources, but at the end of the day, I think it's really important to know, okay, it is my mindset. And I think it's important to know that you can do something about it. You can change the way you think. You can change how you're attaching meaning to the situations you're in. And it not only impacts the performance that you see in your sport and in your skills, but it can affect your confidence outside of your skill too. So I think that's pretty cool. All right. I hope this was helpful. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you on the next episode. Your time is precious, so thanks so much for spending some of it with me today. I'm so excited to hear what mindset shifts, tips, or encouragement stood out most. Be sure to leave a comment and let me know. If you love this episode, hit subscribe so you never miss another. If you're ready for more support, check out our brand new Mental Block Hub, Mental Block support for cheerleaders and gymnasts. The link is in the show notes for you. Also, ways to book a free intro coaching session with my team. You can also join our MVP list so you're always first to know about new offers, new content, and special resources that we're releasing. I'd love to stay connected. Follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Mandy Patterson Coaching for more inspiration and encouragement throughout the week. Remember, you are amazing, infinitely capable, and stronger than you think. I believe in you, and I'll see you next time.